All right, so where were we? Trying to avoid being ruled by a bunch of 8-year-olds, as I recall. Boy, that's a scary thought. A society built on other people's feelings, in particular the ruling class. Think about that for a minute, if you will. Well, that only sounds like the worst idea ever. Well, let's see. Who's trying to do that in the world? There any countries out there living like that? Just so happens that there are. The majority of the countries in the EU. They've got a bunch of laws instituted that you can't talk about the immigrants that have come to their country. You can't say anything bad against the policies. And it's the citizens who are already there that are suffering most. And it just so happens that that's exactly what Hillary Rotten Clinton was talking about doing. Letting in more immigrants into this country so that they could institute the exact same policies that are going on in the European Union right now. Kind of makes you wonder why there's such a push for illegals at the border lately, huh? What a coincidence. It's really not that difficult to see where they were, or to see where they're trying to go with all of this. I mean, all you have to do is look what they're trying to do in other parts of the world. I mean, come on, after all, they call it world government. So, what would that tell us? Seeing as how Hillary Clinton is obviously down with the globalist philosophy, and that's the way they operate, they plan on, at some point, regaining power and instituting the same type of policies here in the US that they did in Europe to suppress the citizens of Europe, therefore increasing their power and control over the people who are supposed to be there, putting priority to the people who didn't come from there in the first place. Well, that sounds completely ass backwards and upside down, doesn't it? Who in the world operates like that? I'll give you a little hint. It rhymes with a guy named Scotty. That's why they like it when there's a guy from Boston out there riding around saying that it's hopeless. That says he built his own truck when all he did was bolt on a few pieces. They like it when people buy into the notion that things are the way someone says that has a lot of subscribers, even though either he's totally misreading the situation or he's working for the other side, directly or indirectly. And this is the part where everyone's going to roll their eyes and lose interest because they've heard it so many times, different from so many other people. I haven't seen Donald Trump do anything that these people have done except for try to undo their bullshit. Calling out fake news, trying to build the border wall, trying to deal with the immigration problem. Something that was caused by the other side also that they could institute their plan for world government. So after years and years of dealing with other people's nightmares, where they bring their cars, trucks, motorcycles, lawnmowers, or what have you, to me in a box and say, can you make sense out of this? I took it apart and I can't get it back together. All I can do is go by what the pieces say. And the pieces to this political puzzle say that Donald Trump hasn't done anything that some of the past administrations have. I could use the Obama administration as an example. Trump hasn't weaponized the DOJ and used it to go after political opponents like Obama did. Trump hasn't used the IRS to shut down organizations that he didn't agree with, like Obama did. To the best of my knowledge, Donald Trump hasn't set up a private email server and used it for his own purposes, like someone in the Obama administration did. As far as I can tell, he's trying to get to the bottom of all that and undo that freaking mess. So I would prefer to give the man credit for the work that he's done, that he's tried to do, for the things that would have been done if he was working with the other side, and the things that have been rolled back. Yeah, but what about this? What about that? What about Deutsche Bank? What about his connections to Israel? The only reasonable answer I can give to that is, who would you rather have doing security for you? Someone who's rolled with the bad guys and know how they operate? Or someone who just says they can protect your stuff and they know they think they know what's going to happen, as opposed to knowing how the bad guys roll? And here's another point. I haven't seen him align himself with the UN and their policies. I haven't seen him ally with a radical faction and or religion that says join us or die. I suppose I can tell you a quick story. When I got out of the military, I figured there'd never be a reason to have a real weapon in the house in my civilian life. But when they started saying that Hillary Clinton was a shoo-in to win the election, I went out and spent my hard-earned money and bought a real weapon, because I know exactly what the globalists are trying to do and how they were trying to do it. And now I kind of regret that decision, because had I not burned up my money on a nice rifle and ammunition, I might have been able to afford a trunk pan for this car instead of having to handcraft one myself. Who would you rather have trying to outfox the fox? A chicken or another fox? That's where we're at, in my opinion. And I think I'm going to change up how I conclude the videos. I came up with this a while back, and y'all can let me know if you like it or not. Like, share, subscribe, or kiss my ass, because I don't have to do this. Take care.